I don't know. Is this movie actually out yet? For the record, May 25th, 2022, a previous version of this story, Priscilla Part. Okay, who cares? Okay, so as Baz Luhrmann's Elvis biopic looms, the Presley family is in love with it. Let's see why. Riley, whatever that is, the granddaughter of Elvis Presley, can't help falling in love with Baz Luhrmann's Elvis. And she's not alone. Jesus Christ, this is a pluff piece. Ahead of the highly anticipated biopic's world premiere at the Cannes Film Festival later this week, most of the Presley family has said only good things about the movie so far. From the opening scene to the end of the film, Coeg, I don't know how you say that, said she couldn't stop crying and that it was a very emotional experience. In the first 5 minutes, I could feel how much work Baz and Austin Butler put into trying to get it right. She recently told Variety, I started crying 5 minutes in and didn't stop. There's a lot of family trauma and generational trauma that started around then for our family. I almost slept with a guy that looked like Elvis, but his friends dragged him away from me because I was underage. Oh. Well, I would say that's probably a good thing, Bon Bon. That's probably a good thing that they dragged you away. She continued, I felt honored they worked so hard to really get this essence, to feel his essence. Austin captured that's so beautiful. She spoke at Cannes for the first time as a first-time director for her film War Pony, which she debuted at the festival. It's very intense to watch when it's your family, she said, of Luhrmann's film, which stars Butler as Presley and Tom Hanks as his manager, Colonel Tom Parker. It wasn't like I distrusted Baz in any way, but you're protective over your family. Priscilla Presley, who was Elvis's ex-wife, by the time he died in 1977, took to her Instagram to say that she watched the film over a dozen times. Oh, God. I relived every moment in this film. It took me a few days to overcome the emotions as it did with Lisa. Beautifully done, Baz, Tom, Austin, and Olivia, she wrote on May 6th. Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of Elvis and Priscilla Presley, also shared her sentiments on Instagram. She acknowledged that she hasn't been on social media much after her son Benjamin died at 27 from self-inflicted gunshot wound. Jesus Christ, that's horrifying. Navigating through this hideous grief that absolutely destroyed and shattered my heart and soul into almost nothing has swallowed me whole. Oh, that's fucking really uplifting. Not much else aside from their other three children gets my time and attention anymore, she added, but she wanted to talk about how absolutely exquisite the biopic is. Nothing that she's watched it twice. You can feel and witness Baz's pure love, care, and respect for my father throughout the beautiful film, and it's finally something that myself and my children and their children can be proud of forever, Lisa Marie added. I can't tell you enough of how much I love this film, and I hope you love it too. Thank you, Baz, for setting the record straight in such a deeply profound and artistic way. Elvis will be in theaters June 24th, so it's not out yet. Yeah, they must not be telling the truth. People love fables when it comes down to reality. Let's see if there's any comments. No, they don't allow comments on the Los Angeles Times. Of course they don't, the fucking losers. I'm interested to see... Trolls cite the irony of Eminem's track in Elvis, which is very funny, actually. I think Samo, we were talking about on here, that Elvis and, what was it, CeeLo Green, they're featured artists on the soundtrack. It's funny that Eminem, the Elvis of rap, that's what you call him. Release of the trailer, Elvis Pro, sparks debate. So let's see what's the debate. And this is a New Zealand thing. Sparks debate about the singer stealing music from black artists and grooming a 14-year-old. So let's see what's up with that. This is from New Zealand, I guess. Auckland. Oh shit, what is this?
Prestigious contest in Australia. Now Brendan Chase is aiming for the world title in a competition to mark the 40th anniversary of the singer's death. Dale Owens went to check out his chances.
Morning. How you going, man?
Shut the fuck. Who gives a shit? The release of the trailer for Baz Luhrmann's upcoming Elvis Presley biopic has prompted a heated debate about the singer's life, including assertions that he stole his music from black artists and groomed a 14-year-old girl. The family loved it. We just absolutely loved it. The first look at Elvis, in which the king of rock and roll, played by Austin Butler, has drawn attention for all the wrong reasons, as online commenters question which parts of the music legends will be highlighted in the film. I don't know. Let's find out, huh? Hope y'all include how he stole black culture, since y'all announcing this during Black History Month, one Twitter user response to the trailer, which we all know that Twitter is the end-all be-all. Is the part where Elvis ripped off his entire sound from black artists shown? Another asked. Elvis stole everything from black artists. He was a great impersonator, said a third. One moment in the trailer shows a young Elvis wandering into a black church in his hometown in Tupelo, Mississippi, where he becomes overcome by the power of gospel music being performed there. Later in his career, he would use elements of gospel interwoven with sounds of country, blues, and rock and roll. The question of how much the hound dog singer... fucking hate that. I hate how they do that. They use the names of the songs to describe the singer. It pisses me off. The question of how much the hound dog singer borrowed and profited from the musical stylings and talent of black musicians of the 1950s has long been debated. Artists such as Big Joe Turner, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Bo Diddley enjoyed commercial success after Elvis's acceptance by mainstream audiences. However, many of those acts heavily influenced music before he found fame. Let's watch the trailer, shall we?
There are some who'd make me out to be the villain of this here story.
Let's don't let a good thing die.
Are you born with destiny? Or does it just come knocking at your door?
He's a young singer from Memphis, Tennessee. Give him a warm hayride welcome, Mr. Elvis Presley.
Get a haircut, buttercup.
At that moment, I watched that skinny boy transform into a superhero.
They showed a dick pic.
He was my destiny. I wish to promote you, Mr. Presley.
Saw the trailer when we went to Cage movie. It looks really good. I'm sure it's probably entertaining. Yeah, he even promoted himself on his rise up to fame, Eminem, and his music videos, then his lyrics. And CeeLo Green just got his doctorate, so he's not stupid from hypocrisy of knowing Elvis's dark past, and 100% of his music was written by an African-American man, and their reference tracks to prove it. Oh yeah, we're gonna go all into that, Samo. We're going all into that, my friend. Yeah, this is just the top of the layer, son. Also, Baz also did The Great Gatsby. Hey, The Great Gatsby was really good. I don't like musicals though. The Great Gatsby was actually pretty dope. Music and the soundtrack was fire. Yeah, it was pretty dope. All right, so let's get back to this sham.
Are you ready to fly?
I'm ready. Ready to fly.
I'm ready to fly.
All of America will be talking about Elvis Presley.
Where's it try not to move around so much during the tape?
I can't move, I can't sing.
If I can't move, I can't sing. Yeah, huh?
Put me in jail. The way I was moving.
They might put me in jail for walking across the street, but you're a famous white boy.
The way he sings is God-given, so there can't be nothing wrong with it.
Senator Kennedy has been
shot.
Martin Luther King has been shot to death in Memphis.
That's all right for you.
Tragedy, but it has nothing to do with us.
It has everything to do with us.
Oh, my Lord, my darling,
Reverend once told me, when things are too dangerous to say, sing. I'm gonna be 40 soon, and nobody's gonna remember me. I need to get back.
The funny stories about like Elvis performing and like the Beatles performing back in the day, which I'm not sure if it still is the case, but like, ventilation back then was pretty poor. So you gotta imagine hot summer, like a hot Memphis summer where it's like ball sweat hot. And Elvis is performing in some fucked up, like, not arena, or maybe arena, but more of like probably like a dance hall or something. And all these young, like 13, 14-year-old girls are just pissing and shitting them pantses. This is real shit. They were actually pissing themselves. So I can't imagine the smell of these young ladies just pissing themselves and shitting themselves because they got this dude wagging his dick around, doing his thing. The cinematography is perfect, but the story needs to be told whole. But we all know they're gonna have Swiss cheese memory, and they're going to see the legend of fat bloated kung fu. Fu Elvis, probably not. Moist as yeah, baby, let's get moist. Oh my God, Geppetto is in this movie from Pinocchio.
Back to who I really am. And who are you, Elvis? I just gotta be making the most of this thing while I can. This could all be over in a flash.
No, there's fat Elvis.
We are the same, you and I.
No.
We are two odd, lonely children reaching for eternity. The greatest show on earth.
Okay, so there it is. There's the hyped up, souped up shit going on. I think it's very funny that that's the thing about these fucking biopics. Like, I know that fucking the Colonel wasn't backstage being like, "We are two lonely children reaching for eternity." Like, this is not how people fucking talk. That's not how we fucking. I'm down to see it. That'd be dope. That'd be real dope. Fans of the King rushed to his defense, arguing that Elvis was simply part of an industry in which performers have an effect on one another's work, which is true. There's so many songs and stuff that were all just sort of shuffled around. It's like jokes back in the day for comedians. They all used to sort of use the same old jokes and they would go on tour, do it. The same thing with music. They would just be playing the same songs all over, just sharing the songs. Like, it was a different kind of time before there was all these, these laws that prevented people from stealing music and prevented people from doing stuff. It's not shown because he never stole anything. It's called being influenced by other artists. Not really sure how you don't understand this. I mean, it would be like saying the Beatles stole the sound of Billie Holly. Or Buddy Holly on Twitter, one Twitter user, which Buddy Holly was stealing from, of course, black musicians as well. And also the Beatles stole, like their first hit album was all covers of all blues songs that they just made into rock and roll. So again, influence or stole, I don't know. We'll decide at the end. And that was his audition for Geppetto. Disney was like, sign them up. Elsewhere, people honed in on Elvis's controversial relationship with Priscilla Presley, who he met when she was just 14 and he was 24. Whew. That's legal now in California. That's actually the direct number. Like, it's not legal. I'm sorry, my bad. You won't get felony, what's that called? The judge can determine whether or not to label you a sex offender If you're 24 and the person's 14, there's a 10-year difference that you can go. And so it's not legal. I misspoke, but instead of them getting labeled as a sex offender now, the judge can, because it was an automatic sex offender label, but the people, the human rights people or whatever, were like, we can't just let these 24-year-olds who are blanking 14-year-olds get labeled as sex offenders. We got to do something about this. And so California has passed it. So if you have enough money and your parents are rich, and you're fucking underage girls, or if you're a woman fucking underage boys, or whatever the situation is, if you are a 24-year-old trans person and you're fucking a 14-year-old trans person, whatever the situation is, now in California, if you have enough money to pay off the judges and you can make the right donations to the right politicians, you don't have to walk around with a sex offender label on you anymore. So that's interesting. That's interesting. You'll have to let us know if Pinocchio is any good. Never really liked the movie. Yeah, Pinocchio's so fucking freaky and weird. I never liked the cartoon either. Pinocchio is the greatest parenting movie of all time. It's a ratchet fairy tale of don't worry, the world will take care of you, take care of your kid. Yeah, they'll take care of them all right. Elsewhere, people owned in on the, okay, we read that. The pair dated on and off for a few years before Priscilla moved it to Memphis, Tennessee to live with Elvis while she continued to go to high school. Jesus Christ. What the fuck? Things were different back then, folks. The first trailers arrived, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm sure we don't need to go into those. Elvis and Priscilla were married in 1967 when Priscilla was 21 years old. At least they waited until she was 21. And the couple welcomed their baby 9 months later. At least they waited until she was 21 to have a baby. Priscilla maintained the pair didn't fully consummate their marriage until their wedding night. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I wonder if they'll add the obsession, his obsession with teenagers, and how his future wife was a kid when he noticed her. One tweet said on the Elvis trailer, "Where is your outrage over the biopic ignoring Elvis's grooming and molesting a 14-year-old girl? Oh, he is white. I get it. Read another. The film's director, Baz Luhrmann, dubbed Elvis the original punk in speaking out in his new film, adding he was wildly provocative. There really were riots. Elvis is set to hit cinemas in June this year. Fucking Twitter is a bunch of assholes anyways. And you white, that's why. Which, you know, they hold some weight. let's not kid ourselves, but still, fucking hate Twitter. But I love Twitter so much. Okay, so did he steal? Was he grooming? The grooming part, I believe that is true. He was definitely grooming a 14-year-old girl. He was definitely making young women pee themselves and shit themselves in these small dance halls in a hot summer, Memphis summer. As much looking back through our PC lenses, it looks creepy, but like all the guys back then were banging 14. Yeah, I know. Jerry Lee Lewis, she was like 12 or 13, and it was his cousin. I mean, it was it was that. It really was a different time. And not to make excuses for people's decisions back then, but it really was a different time then. And people were finger blasting little 14-year-olds, and it was totally normal. And parents were just like, oh, good, she's going to marry a man with a job, and they're going to have children, you know, like it was accepted. It was accepted. So that's the thing about these. Yeah, exactly. We're looking through things with our PC lenses, and people on Twitter are just waiting. They're seething at the teeth, just to, oh yeah, oh, he was a white supremacist rapist, which kind of was, and a thief. So let's take a look at some shit. So, where do we start on this? Okay, so Aldous Blackwell is attributed to being the person that he was stole from and someone who was coaching him up supposedly. Let me see. Where is this? Did Elvis steal from music-led Rufus time? Okay, so we'll kind of go through this. We'll go through the Otis. I had to get my shit together here. So let's go through Otis Blackwell, who was a writer and a performer back in the day with Elvis, and let's hear what he has to say. Can you imagine an LGBT title, Little Richard, how far he could have possibly went? Imagine how far Little Richard could have went if he didn't have all those obstacles. But look how far Little Richard went with all those obstacles. He was an androgynous dude who may or may not be homosexual. Who knows? But that wasn't accepted back in the day at all. He was also black, which was barely accepted back in the day. As long as you could dance and entertain these white folks, you were allowed to exist. So, he went up against the odds, and he beat the odds. He beat them. A lot of people did. They worked hard and they got their shit. But yeah, I don't know if Little Richard would be okay. Would Little Richard be okay with Tutti Frutti for shout? Yeah, for sure, Tutti Frutti. I don't know if Little Richard would be okay with being like, Anyways, let's check out Otis Blackwell. Maybe. Oh, here we go. Look at this old fucking Baltimore public access shit. This is crazy. Look, and it's only in our left side.
Now you know I couldn't be found sitting home all alone. Well, if you can't come around, at least please telephone.
Or it's on the right.
Don't be cruel to a heart so true. Oh, maybe if I made you mad, but something that I might have said. Please.
Otis Blackwell may finally be ready to take his place in history. If you think popular music doesn't affect the way people think and behave, imagine what it would be like if there hadn't been an Otis Blackwell. He wrote Don't Be Cruel, All Shook Up, Return to Sender, Elvis Presley's biggest-selling songs, at a time when Elvis affected every household in America, and a generation growing up in the 50s.
It's
Otis Blackwell did more than write the songs. He gave Elvis his voice. Listen.
You know what I want you to say. Don't be cruel to a heart so true.
Hey, Nick Tronic, what's up, buddy? Welcome in. We're trying to determine whether or not Elvis stole, and well, we could probably all agree that he was definitely grooming a 14-year-old girl to marry and impregnate, so. But it was accepted then. It was a different time.
Amazing, isn't it?
I
Here's
guess.
how it happened.
Let's go.
Otis didn't provide sheet music for Elvis. He sent Elvis demonstration records of the tunes he wrote. Elvis copied the arrangement and the voice. The voice was Otis. Was Otis angry at this? No, indeed. Otis liked their relationship.
When I heard the record, Jesus, man, this man sounds like me, or I sound like him, or he copied the thing, and it works. Well, I figured, well, hey, man, it works. If it didn't work for you, it worked for him. That's groove. You know what I'm saying? So what I would do is, well, we got a thing going, man. You be thankful for what you can get because it's working out, man. So I'd stay back, and it goes out. I figured as long as the message was getting across, that's all that was important. Yeah.
That dude looks high as fuck on narcotics. I just want to say that. I don't know if this is his normal demeanor, but this dude looks high as shit. The reference track Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and also should be known as the Pete Rose of music. Yeah.
Otis is appearing at the Truckers Inn in Jessup. We'll get to his big comeback a little later, and a comeback it is. Otis began as a performer. His first big rhythm and blues hit was called Daddy Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
I'm Daddy Rolling Stone. Daddy Rolling Stone.
Dude's badass though.
Girls call me Daddy. Daddy Rolling. Daddy Rolling Stone.
It was this song that inspired a couple of kids from England to name their group. That's right, the Rolling Stones.
Look at this. Look at
Not
this
only
influence.
that, Otis also wrote Fever, Great Balls of Fire, Handyman, and dozens of other top 10 hits of the late 50s into early 60s.
Maybe twice my size, but he don't know as much as me. I'm the daddy.
Otis decided to return to performing because, well, Elvis died, and there was nobody to carry it on.
Who will
I
do it?
tell people no, but I think really it is. I guess maybe because that sound now, you know, although his sound has matured more because he's been working at it, should still be out there. And it's not about someone who's copying, you know. And so I think really, to tell you the truth, I think maybe that is the reason why.
Now this time I'm gonna take it myself and pull her right in her hand.
Let's pick this up a
They
bit.
come back of every next day, and I'll understand the writing on it. Return
To send up.
Hit red, return sender. Yes, it said return sender. Let some know. Oh.
Otis got a band together, a couple of guys from Baltimore and one from New York. They got their act together at the Desert Lounge in Pasadena, and they've recorded a record due out in about a month. All Otis's great songs, the way he always wanted.
I know I'm having a good time. I know when I see people dance to me singing.
So there you go. That's him talking about what his involvement, and he's not accusing of the king of stealing anything. This Letterman interview is pretty good too.
Welcome back to the show. Now, I have been assured that the bird is in no danger up there. Can you hear it? She's still up there. And this apparently happened also in rehearsal, and we retrieved her at that.
Shut up.
It's a real pleasure to meet you. Was Don't Be Cruel the first song of yours that Elvis Presley recorded?
Yes, it was.
How did that come about?
Well, it's a hard story. At the time, there was no definite story. I was writing songs, freelancing.
What were you doing when you weren't freelancing?
I guess anything that came along and make me a dollar, too.
Yeah.
That was honest, though.
So you're just beginning as a songwriter?
Yeah. I had written about 6 or 7 songs. Day before
Christmas?
Christmas. And I found out that I could get some advance money for some songs. So I stayed home a few days and wrote these songs.
Look, it's so funny. The thing I loved about David Letterman, that he would always play into people who were on drugs. Like he just sort of like would play along with it and just sort of let them do their thing. You gotta look at blues singers back. I need to see R&B people look more like him. I agree. We need more Otis Blackwell impersonators is what we need.
And it was Christmas Eve and snowing. Yeah. No hat. Yeah. Holes in the shoes. Yep. Standing on the corner. A friend of mine brought me over to this office, Shalimar Music.
This was located right here in New York, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah. And asked me to play some songs for a gentleman there. I named him O'Gale. And I played the 6 songs.
That was funny.
Now, for the 6 or 8 songs, I think it was 8 songs, I got $25 advance for each song.
Yeah. What year was this?
100 years ago.
All right, so one of them was Don't Be Cruel.
One of the songs was Don't Be Cruel.
And it got to Elvis Presley. Now, on the sheet music here, it says, oh, this is nice. This is it's like being in the cocktail lounge at Trader Vic's, isn't it? Otis, on the sheet music here, it says, words and music by Otis Blackwell and Elvis Presley. Now, did he work with you on the song at any time?
No, he didn't.
Then how does his name get on the
well, that
title?
seems to have been the practice at that time, I found out later on.
Yeah.
So now,
told to me that,
twist.
In order for me to get Elvis Presley,
I
had to put his name on the song.
Yeah. Okay. Now, we're going to talk more about this stuff, and you're also going to sing for us tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, well, we're looking forward to it. We got to pause here for just a second. We'll be right back with Otis Blackwell. Welcome back, folks. let's go down to the rink again and see how the thing, the rain is doing. I understand there's Dave Maloney right there from the New York Rangers, so apparently skewed the bird. Got part of a goalie, and also our own Larry Melman. In addition to writing the songs, you actually would record demo tapes, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I'd make the demo tapes for him.
Now, what was the purpose for that? What did they do with them when they got the tapes?
Well, they showed him the song, and
Elvis, they played the song through.
So basically, he was selling these songs for a paperclip and a ham sandwich. So here's the twist, right? Like, Otis isn't saying that he stole them, but he's just saying that's how we did things then. I got my paperclip, I got a ham sandwich, I got some bus fare, and I was good. But my song wouldn't hear the light of day if I didn't put Elvis's name on it. It's not Elvis, that's the bad guy, it's the producer manager. Yeah, I mean, I could see that as well. That's a good point as well, is that these people who are putting these songs together and collecting songs for Elvis to do were at fault as well. That was how things were done. Again, people did this sort of, they borrowed songs and did different, like, I'm going to play this song and then I'm going to record this song. And like, it just got so convoluted that a lot of people ended up not getting their right pay for what they did. I had a guest on, his name is T Money Green. He lives here in Detroit, Michigan. And he was one of the original bassists for Death Row Records. And Death Row, as we all know, was a completely unorganized organization. Suge Knight fucked over a lot of the musicians, and what ended up happening was that T Money Green ended up having to get his own paperwork together so he could get paid off of the back end and the residuals of the music that he's on. So he's on Warren G's Regulators. He was all over the Snoop Dogg album. He was all over Dog Pound albums. And he got paid for his session work, but he never got paid for the back end. And so right now he's still trying to get that money from Death Row. And I'm just wondering, I kind of want to reconnect with Tony and see if with the new sale of the company, because it was sold to some Canadian LLC at the time, and he was still trying to collect royalties. I'm interested to see if Tony is going to get any money off of Snoop Dogg's purchase of the label. So I mean, this stuff happens now. This is not anything new. People have been just sort of railroading people and cheating people wherever they can and in any way. Once money is involved, it's a business, and these people are trying to make that fucking skrill. And these lawyers, these asshole producers, and not producers even, these managers, these people that have very little to do with the creative process are always trying to get their fucking dirty, filthy little hands all over money. So, this is a tale as old as the music business itself. So let's listen on.
And, Danny recorded the tune, I suppose.
Now, we were talking about this afternoon. Is it true that when he heard you performing the material, that he would imitate your style when he recorded the song?
Well, they did come out very close to the demos that we did.
Yeah. And did you feel funny about him imitating so closely what you were putting on tape, or not?
Well, no, I felt a little funny the first time, then after he sold 4 million, I didn't.
Yeah, sting out of it, I guess, sure. Now, did you ever meet Elvis Presley?
No, I never met Elvis.
How many years were you writing songs for him?
Well, I had signed up with him on the contract to be a writer for just his company for 5 years.
Uh-huh. And in that time, you never met him. Why was that?
I never met him. The early part of what we were doing, I never wanted to meet him. I didn't want to meet him at the time. I wanted to, but didn't at that time. We had something I felt that was going pretty good. I thought as long as my songs was getting over to him and he was doing them the way that I would like for him to be done, in a sense, we had met.
Yeah, so you're actually worried about messing up the chemistry by meeting the man physically?
Well, you never know. So.
Yeah. Did you ever perform in those days?
No. When I was about 18, 19 years old, I used to sing, But I decided not to do it when I found out that you could make a good money writing songs.
Yeah, doing all right. But you have now an album called Let's Talk About Us, Otis Blackwell, and you're going to do a song. Is it from the album? No, I know what you're going to do tonight. Yeah, tell the folks what you're going to be singing here.
Well, we're going to do Don't Be Cruel.
Yeah.
The album is about some songs that I had done. There are a lot of the songs that he had recorded and some that he had accepted but never got into the studio to do.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. And this will be Don't Be Cruel, as it was initially written by Mr. Otis Blackwell. Otis, go on over there and do this.
Okay, so that clip, I think, tells a lot about the situation. It's also bad business, unfortunately. I will retract what I said about him just right there in the footage. Well, I mean, it's a weird business, man. It's a weird business, but you also have to Elvis is complicit in this as well. So it's like the concept of all cops are bad, right? It's like if you are complicit in the act of the tyrannical and racist acts that the cops that some cops might do, and you look the other way, you're just as guilty. Now that's not how I feel about it. I'm I'm not trying to take this into a political sense, but like it's in that same that same essence. If you're complicit in the wrongdoing, then you're just as guilty. And I don't think it's that. I don't think it's a black and white situation. I think that it's a gray area, right? It's pretty gray. Most of the truth lies in the gray area. I think, there's so much going on each side. You also got to think that Elvis was probably shielded from a lot of these business happenings. He just showed up fucking high on fucking poppers and fucking uppers and reds and fucking whatever the fuck else he was. Oh man, I'm gonna go record this song right now. Like in some aspects, he just showed up, doing his job, leaving, and then going out and fucking all these bitches. You know what I mean? So like that's playing all these shows, doing his thing. But I do believe Elvis does need his asterisk an asterisk over any award that he wins, just like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire juiced up for the home run. Yeah, for the home run records. Yeah, no, for sure. Which, by the way, I think that we should just let everybody just be on steroids. It should just be a bunch of fucking juiced up monsters on the field. Just fucking. Who wants to see some like 160-pound fucking little weakling bunt the ball and then run around? Let them just juice. Let them smoke weed. Let them get drunk as fuck and let them go. Let's watch a real sport. This fucking baseball shit is a bunch of fucking bullshit, in my opinion. It's so boring. Let's make this entertaining. People want to see fucking home runs hit by fucking juiced up fucking meatheads just swinging and fucking breaking bats over their legs and shit. They just want to see it, baby. I know I do. Okay, so let's jump on over to another video. I think this is the story of him, but did Elvis steal black people's music? Now, this is a music legend, Rufus Thomas, and he kind of talks about the whole situation as well. So let's get into this. Drunk sports are better than sober sports. Yeah, that's why people show up and start drinking, right? Come on.
Friends, on this special episode of Globetrotting with Trey, Rufus Thomas, one of the founding fathers of rock and roll, answers a fan's question about if Elvis stole from black people's music.
I've heard more times than I'd like to hear that Elvis stole black people's music. Tell us the truth.
Did Elvis steal black people's music? Rufus, boy, he's the guy who can answer that.
From one, I would think that you're a music lover, but from one music lover to another, nobody steals nobody's music. Let me give you that. If I can get a pen and a piece of paper, I'd like to show, if I could borrow yeah.
If I could get a pen and a piece of paper, I would like to show y'all what I'm talking about. Yeah, let's get some steroid leagues. Let's go. That's what I'm saying. Soccer would actually be watchable, right? Or football. It would be actual watchable. But in the new form of soccer, they gotta fight just like hockey players. Let's go! Anyways, so yeah, let's get back to Rufus and his pen and paper.
If I could borrow a piece of paper, can I borrow your book a minute? I need something a little heavier.
By the way, I like what he writes here. It's just like I don't think he needed the visual representation. I think people could have got it in their own mind's eye. But hey, who am I?
Back for this. Yeah, here we go. Okay, George, you hold on to that for a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I want all of you to know this, that there is no such thing as black music. There is no such thing as white music. Let nobody tell you that. And I can prove it. Let me show you. Here is a musical note. Like that. See that note right there? Is that a musical note? Yeah. What color is it? Huh? Say it. Are you afraid? Are you afraid to say it? Okay, then that's half note, I would think. And then you cover it all the way in here. Or you cover that all the way. Now what kind of note is that? It is a black note. And it only proves to you and the rest of you that music is both black and white. There's a white. Just because the white voice is singing it does not mean that that's white music. Just because a black voice is singing it does not mean that it is black music. Music is both black and white. Music belongs to everybody. There's no race when it comes to music.
A little bit about Rufus Thomas. In 1953, he recorded Bear.
So I'm on that same level. I've spoken about this a lot, especially when I'm talking to our white brothers and sisters about who like either rap or they sing soul music or they sing reggae music and stuff like that. These traditionally black-born artistries, these art forms. I tend to bring this up with them a lot, and I tend to agree with Rufus in that sense. As a musician, there's an unspoken language, and that all that is like, can you play? And I've played with black people, Mexican people, Filipino people, Asians, like all the people of the world, and no one have I ever played with. And I played in huge reggae festivals where there are straight up Jamaicans who are fucking just fucking Jamaican as they get, playing some hardcore reggae, and they have a backing band that's half white, Puerto Rican, whatever the situation is. And I've never been in a situation where a black artist is like, fuck you, white boy, for playing our music. It's never been that. It's always been, can he play? Or can they play, I should say, not can he, because there's plenty of amazing women, musicians out there who are just murdering the game right now. I've never had that, and I've always said that because of integration of, Benny Goodman and these jazz players, these big band players, used to take black folks out on the road with them all the time, in a time when you couldn't share a bathroom with a black person. In every stage of progress when it comes to race relations, it's always been artists that's pushing the boundaries, that are pushing and breaking boundaries, that are taking black people on the road with them. Jimi Hendrix had a notoriously white as fuck band. Like these are, it's always been artists that are sort of leading the charge, or at least are hand in hand with any movement in regards to race relations. And it's never been about black or white in my field, in my circles, and it's always been like, can you play? Let's go. If you can't play, then get the fuck out, But it's not about black or white. It's now. I mean, for some people, it is. But for the most part, it's just, you got it. Can you feel it? And it's just been a part of the culture. Has always been, let's fuck it. Well, not always, but a part of American music culture, I gotta say, it's always been like, hey, we're fucking, this is You know, this is Rufus Thomas. He's our lead singer, or he's our fucking lead guitarist. He's coming with us. You know what I mean? Or whatever the situation is. So I do agree with Rufus in the sense that, you know, music isn't black or white. There are roots. There are black roots. There are African roots. There are Mexican roots, or whatever. There are, you know, native roots or whatever that could be used. But I hate this term appropriating and appropriation. I hate this term. It's like, you're appropriating our music. You can never play our music. Don't listen to our music. It's like, that is so fucking ridiculous to me, because it's because of art, it's because of music, it's because of these people who are brave enough to go out there that we are at the state we are in right now, which is, let's not forget that, like, what was it, about 40, 50 years ago, it would be illegal for me to be in a relationship with my wife. I couldn't marry my wife, you know, 50, 60 years ago. You know what I mean? My son would be, you know, considered an abomination or an illegal human being, because we had a mixed child. So I'm all about, you know, this idea that music is this universal language, that it's not black or white or whatever. It's a universal fucking language. And, you know, I know people can break it down into white supremacy and all that good stuff. But as someone who's been on the road, who's been in all these different situations, as a musician, it's never been about race. It's always been about, like, what can you do if your abilities can hold up to it? Abominable Snowman. Thank you, Mr. Poopy Butthole, for that addition to the conversation. I appreciate that. Where are we at? I'm sorry. Sorry, this is coming off more like Chappelle sketch. If you have a hate in your heart, let it out. If you have hate in your heart, let it out. The Kansas Owens approach in this video. See, I mean, there you go. You could compare Rufus to Candace Owens, and there's a lot of people who fucking do not like Candace Owens and call her a white supremacist, which is very odd to me, as a very white looking Mexican. It's very odd for me to see a black woman being called a white supremacist, or any black person being called white supremacist. But again, that's for coming from a very white looking Mexican dude. So, you know, take that forever you will. Fucking love Benny Goodman. Yeah, Benny Goodman's the shit. Imagine H.D. Holmes' 1940s edition with segregation, law of design. And I agree with you. If you can play, let's get it on. But if you can't, get off the stage. And that's what it's all about. It's like, now, I have seen musicians be very twatty towards people who can't keep up. That's a different kind of discrimination right there. I have seen musicians be very rude to people who can't keep up. I've been on the receiving end of that. I've been, you know, asked to leave the stage. I've been asked to leave the club. It's like, maybe you belong over on that side of town, sir. And it's like, ooh, sorry. Didn't mean to sully your stage, my friend. Will Mexico win the World Cup this year? I don't fucking know. Mr. Poopy Butthole, did you not just hear me shitting all over soccer? Look at me. I'm a doughy dude out in Ohio who never played sports. So I don't care. But yes, they will win because Mexico, viva la Mexico. Let's go. Viva la Mexico forever. I've been thrown out of a bar. Well, with a name like Mr. Poopy Butthole, I can't imagine why. Listen, I've been thrown out of every goddamn bar in this town, so don't take offense to that, sir. I've definitely been kicked out of my fair share of bars. I've only been not kicked out, but asked to not play there ever again. At a jazz club, owned and operated by black folks. Clifford Murphy, who is just an incredible bass player, and Claude Black, who was essential in the in the Motown days, played with Aretha Franklin, and he's from Detroit, Michigan, but made his way down to Toledo and opened this jazz club here in Toledo called Murphy's, which is no longer a club, which is very sad. It was like one of those home base for these young jazz cats to come up and have real inspiration. But a very popular singer here in town, I forgot her name, Ramona something. She asked us, maybe you should be over there, jazzed in my I just jazzed in my pants. The rumor of Cracker Barrel and the race relation clientele. Food is another great binder, right? The universal truth. We all need to eat, and we all know that Granny's biscuits are the best, right? What? I don't even know what that means. Were you kicked out of that fine gay establishment on the other side of town? No, I've never been in that gay establishment. I've only been in one gay bar here in Toledo, and I had a good time. I've always had a good time at gay bars. I've always had a good time, and you always meet the finest, the hottest ladies are at the gay bar with the gay dudes. Totally cool. I mean, they're just and they're single. Mostly because they're out with their gay boyfriends, and why I raised my hand like they're out with their gay boyfriends, I don't know. I'm just making weird gestures with my hand. Anyways, all that just to say, I agree with Rufus Thomas. I do think that there's ways you can disrespect music of other cultures and make a mockery of it. There's definitely that, and I don't want to say there's no such thing as appropriation, but I do want to say that if you genuinely are playing from the heart and it's not some weird there's not some weird malice involved, then I genuinely I don't see it as black or white. But of course that's coming from the pasty Mexican dude here in Ohio. So, that's just my opinion. But here we go. Let's see. Lady Gaga. Mr. Poopy Butthole, you are definitely adding to this conversation. I'm loving it. All right, let's get into it.
Aircat at Memphis Recording Studios for Sam Phillips. It became Sam Phillips's and Memphis Recording Studios' first national hit, 2 years before Elvis recorded That's All Right Mama. In the 70s, Rufus would go on to Stax and record hit songs. He also would record with his daughter, Carla Thomas. Yeah, Carla Thomas was his daughter. Rufus Thomas and Elvis is seen here on stage on December the 7th, 1956, friends, at the WDIA's fundraiser to support needy black children in Memphis, Tennessee. This was a segregated event, but Elvis showed up, friends, went on stage, and caused a commotion, friends, plus got media attention to this great event. That, friends, should tell you everything else you need to know about Elvis and if he was a racist or not. This is a great picture of Elvis on stage. You can see he's smiling. Rufus is probably asking him or showing him a dance move, and it looks like Elvis is dancing. So they were just having a great time that night. I wish there was video footage from this. Maybe there is, friends. If you have it, email me and let me know. But also, friends, look at this picture. It's B.B. King. Yes, B.B. King and Elvis backstage at Ellis Auditorium at this fundraiser for that great event in Memphis, Tennessee, friends. So now let's get back to Rufus Thomas.
Rufus has a great line that I'm not going to use. I'm going to let him deliver. Tell him what it takes to play the national.
That's what I was about to say. Thank you, George. Which only goes to show you, in this great country of ours called the United States of America, it takes both the black and the white keys of a piano to play the Star-Spangled Banner.
Next question for the Memphis Mafia.
Wow, friends. Wow. Hey, if
Wow,
you ever play the
friends.
piano
Wow.
and try to do the song Star Spangled Banner, you know the only way you can do it is by pressing both the white and the black key on the piano. That's great. Let's all work together, friends. No matter your skin color or what else, throw that out the door, because you know why? If I'm cut and my friend that's black is cut, or my friend that's a Mexican is cut, we all bleed the same blood. It's all red, and no one on the outside would know which one of us was cut and bled, because it looks all the same. It's all from above, friends. No matter your skin color, friends, no matter anything, Elvis's music is for everyone. Rufus Thomas's music is for everyone. Music by Rufus Thomas One of the founding fathers of rock and roll in '92 said, "Music, friends, is not white, it's not black, it's just music, and it's for everyone." Thanks for watching, friends.
So Rufus Thomas also wrote Hound Dog. Ain't nothing but a hound dog. Publicity stunt. It also works that way in other countries. Yeah, I could see that. So speaking to that, Samo, and speaking to this, because this is sort of going into... I didn't watch this BB King video, and I'm interested to see what he has to say about it. And it's only a minute long, so let's watch this BB King thing. But going into the idea is Elvis racist? And was that a publicity stunt? Was that just something he was doing to garner more sales from the black community? I don't know. I can't speak for Elvis, but let's hear what BB King has to say real quick.
I want to talk a little bit about the people you've known. You knew Elvis before he was big.
Yes.
And you knew him after he was big.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
Elvis was very shy when I first met him. When I first met him,
Was it Sun Studio? Where was it?
Sun Studio. And
Fucking love BB King. I have him tattooed. If I can pull my fat fucking foot up. Oh, there you go. If you can see that. Hold on. Let me. There we go. There's that. So that's supposed to say BB King. Or 8B, apartment 8B, or BB King. Fucking love BB King. I went and saw BB King when I was younger, and I swear to God, I could play the blues after just watching him. By osmosis, I was able to play the blues, my friends. Not really. I'm not a great blues player. What is the royalty rights for everyone? Yeah, Samo. Right. Well, it seemed like BB. You better chill. You better chill, Spoopy Butthole. BB Queen. BBQ Queen. Okay, that. Yeah, it's. My tattoo is pretty terrible, and Poopy Butthole. Thank you for that. Okay, so. Oh, let's let BB finish.
in Memphis there, Dewey Phillips was a disc jockey, and his brother Sam Phillips was on the station. So I used to go out to the studio, and my company that I worked for at the time would always contract Mr. Phillips to let us in anytime that we had something to record. And usually Elvis would be there practicing a lot of times. He had several people, but at that time he was a handsome guy, good looking. I didn't think too much about his playing or singing. I mean, it was okay, but I didn't see at that time what I saw later on. But he would talk, and it was, you know.
Interested in your music?
He would watch. He didn't ask questions a lot, but he would watch.
Because a lot of people, when they heard Elvis, thought he was black, didn't they?
At first, yes.
Yeah, they said he's playing black music. He's a white guy.
Yeah, but see, at first he was playing more like rockabilly. He wasn't really getting into the things that he started to do later. But when he started to do that, then he started to turn heads, including mine.
Yeah, it did? So
yes.
What did you see then?
I saw that he had everything. The looks, he had the talent.
He had the rhythm, the soul.
He had everything. To me, he had everything. You know, you started looking at the guys, God almighty, he's handsome, he's tall, and he looks good, he can sing, he can play.
You know, a lot of women.
Well, I didn't see, you know, I didn't see women disliking him, but he was just, I didn't see him after them either. But I guess had I been handsome.
People thought Madonna was black? That sounds like the whitest pop music ever. It does sound like the whitest pop music ever.
Like that, I probably would have.
Was BB King gay for Elvis? Breaking news! BB King gay for Elvis. Okay, wait, I'm crossing the line. No sarcasm, but really didn't know that. Yeah, let me see. I want to Madonna mistaken for black woman. Let's see what it says. The Black Madonna. Notions of a true womanhood. Our Lady Madonna declared blacks and gays are doing better than. Thank you, Madonna. She's declaring that for everyone. Intriguing story of the Black Madonna. explores unsettling pre-Grammy, the death and life of Bond ambition. What's Black Madonna? Straight men don't understand me. Shut up. I love Madonna, bitch. Sorry. I didn't mean to say that. That was rude. You know what? I'm not sorry. Because that lady is weird. Have you guys seen her fucking face work that she's got done? Like, come on, man. Let me see here. Okay. Anyways, because of Madonna's soulful delivery on Holiday and the fact that the song was getting played on black radio, there were those who didn't realize that the singer was actually white. Back then, people thought she was black. That's tight. Guess she had a black sounding. Right on. Well, there it is, everybody. We're going off Bon because I don't know. Mistaken for black women. Who got a facelift? Madonna. We're getting off subject here, but we're just going to go see what she's done to herself. Madonna. Current picture. I honestly feel bad for her that she feels like she has to do this to herself. It's like, it's not really good work. Oh, here it is. Like, look. That's kind of ghoulish. I'm sorry. She's totally aged graceful. I think the closest thing that Madonna ever came close to being black is when she was with Tupac for that short amount of time. Yeah, or wasn't there a video where she was dancing with a black guy or something? That was very provocative back then. Look at this. This is just ugh. Madonna, why are you doing this? Yeah, Mr. Poopy Butthole, I agree. But there was that one video, Wish, where, yeah, she worshiped Black Jesus. That's right. That's the one. There it is. And her partner, I think, look, she was with this guy, Madonna's boyfriend. He's mixed. So, you know. She's black now. She used to be beautiful. I agree. Madonna was gorgeous. She was gorgeous. Madonna, 1985. Let's do that. Look at this. Fucking baddie. Look at that mole. Everyone wanted that mole. This is not a great picture. She was super hot, man. Super hot. But, you know, I don't know why she felt like she had to hold on to those years. It's said that I do feel like society kind of puts that on women, you know. There is something to be said about the guy who runs off with the young assistant or the young secretary after being married to their wife for years and years, right? Sort of weird. Oh, look at this. Here, finally it fucking shows up. This is the new store, by the way, guys. You too can get a hat like this. And if you're a sub, you get a discount. So not saying anybody has to buy anything. I'm just saying it's here. It's here. And now if you're subbed, you get discounts. So it's better than Threadless, everybody. Just saying. What's up, Morby? Popping in. Popping back in, I should say. Or you probably never left. The fuck? I'm angry. Man, I went to the kitchen for a snack and ended up in a discussion about meaning of life with with my drunk parents. Oh, that's nice. That's actually nice. Hey, you could be little Kim thinking that she's changing into a Puerto Rican princess. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. 100% cotton, baby. Okay, let's get back onto this. So, going off of the idea that is Elvis racist, we already know that through different dealings, Elvis came out on the better end of record contracts where he was buying songs from Otis, and Otis had to put his name Elvis's name on there. They sort of forced his hand to do that, but Otis did get paid for that, and he did say that he got paid decently, so that's good. But let's listen to someone else. So Quincy Jones. If you guys don't know who Quincy Jones is, then where the fuck have you been? Quincy Jones is the producer of this century or of the last century or whatever. You know what? Fuck this. He's probably one of the best producers to ever live in modern music history. Michael Jackson and he worked with Ray Charles. He's worked with, I mean, anybody who's had any kind of influence in the fucking music industry, Quincy Jones has been a part of. And I wish I could remember more people off the top of my head, but he also brought us The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So, you know, and what's the outcome? Did you guys figure out the purpose of life, Morby? Yeah, did you? Did you find the purpose of life? I would love to know. Share it with us, please. Why we find out why Quincy Jones thinks that he's making some bold claims here, Quincy Jones.
Elvis Presley is quite possibly the most influential musician of his generation. Sure, his career had a few low points, such as his utterly forgettable film work, and his final years were marked by drug addiction and poor health. The so-called king of rock and roll's music, however, speaks for itself and largely stands the test of time. Presley was far from perfect, and his character flaws are as much a part of the man's narrative as his music. He had a famously short temper and once went to the White House to volunteer to help President Richard Nixon with the nascent war on drugs and
the war on drugs, the drug addict himself. He's like, I gotta go help with the war on drugs, man. Oh shit. Hi-ya. My mom said it was reproduction, and I was like, yeah, fuck all that infertile and gay people. Fuck all the infertile and gay people. And my stepdad, dad never gets to make a point because he always gets off track too badly. Huh. What a dick. Dick Nixon, that is. Your parents sound like a hoot. Quincy Jones freaking outed the Beatles hard. The older people get, the more more fucks they care less about Quincy Jones is out there spilling the tea. Yeah, there you go. The Googles, what a hoot is but nods. Oh yes, Google's what a hoot is but nods. They are a hoot. It means that they sound like they're fun. They sound like they're a good time. They're fun to party with. Morby. Morby, there is some truth, I would say, about reproduction, but I don't think that gives people meaning necessarily. It is one way to attain meaning. I always like my 10th grade history teacher's take on the meaning of life, and I stick to that, and is that live every day as if it is your own or is your last. You never know what's coming. Live your life to the fullest and do your best to live your best life. And I've always that's always stuck with me, you know, that age old. And come to find out that's a pretty common saying, is like, live your life like this is your last day on earth. And I like that a lot. Do I think reproduction is a big part of finding meaning in life? It can be. I know for sure that it gave me some sort of meaning and gave me direction and meaning in my life, having my son. Before him, I guess I really didn't give a fuck about myself, or really about anything. I cared about Raina, but like I was just on my own path of self-destruction, and having my son was one of those situations that made me really reflect and start taking care of myself and start being better because now I have someone who's depending on me. I think it's a part of the equation for some, but I don't think it's the whole thing. So, you know, I'll live my life as an adventure, because who says what's right or wrong? And thank you, Morby. Thank you very much. That's a great way of putting it. That is a great way of putting it, because, fuck everybody else. Do what you do. Do what makes you feel good. As long as you're not hurting people, it's fucking, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, that was more like a scary YOLO, bitch. YOLO, bitches! There it is. Okay, so let's get back to this video.
Some unspecified way, despite some unspecified Richard Nixon with the nascent war on drugs in some unspecified way, despite being a user himself, claiming in a bizarre letter to Nixon that he had undertaken a, quote, in-depth study of drug abuse and communist brainwashing techniques. Fast forward to May 2021, when legendary musician and producer Quincy Jones accused the king of another character flaw, and a familiar one, racism. Specifically, Jones claimed that he and another musician refused to work with Elvis because of that racism. When The Hollywood Reporter asked the 88-year-old Jones if he had ever worked with Elvis, Jones said, quote, "No, I wouldn't work with him." When asked why, Jones explained, "I was writing for Tommy Dorsey, oh God, back then in the 50s, and Elvis came in, and Tommy said, I don't want to play with him. He was a racist mother. I'm gonna shut up now. But every time I saw Elvis, he was being coached by Otis Blackwell telling him how to sing." So is there any truth to Jones's claim? That's impossible to answer, as the alleged event happened 70 years ago, and 2 of the 3 people who were in the room that day have been gone for decades. As for Jones's claim about Otis Blackwell coaching Elvis, Blackwell, who wrote Presley's hit song Don't Be Cruel, told David Letterman during an interview in 1984 that he never even met Elvis, so Jones may be somewhat mistaken.
Now, did you ever meet Elvis Presley?
No, I never met Elvis.
Blackwell did, however, confirm to Letterman that Elvis openly imitated his singing style on Don't Be Cruel, so Jones was right about that part. According to David Pilgrim, curator of Ferris University's Jim Crow Museum, there's just no hard evidence out there that Presley was a racist, despite persistent decades-long rumors to the contrary. Pilgrim notes that Presley donated money to black causes, attended predominantly black churches during his youth in Tupelo, Mississippi, and consistently treated the black people he encountered with respect. On the other hand, Quincy Jones is far from the first person to accuse Elvis Presley of racism. Rap legend's Public Enemy called Presley straight-up racist in their 1989 song Fight the Power. In 2002, Mary J. Blige performed Presley's Blue Suede Shoes on VH1's Divas Live special. Some criticized her for singing an Elvis song during her set, and she told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, "I prayed about it because I know Elvis was a racist."
Mary J? Auntie Mary? No. No.
But that was just the song VH1 asked me to sing. It meant nothing to me. I didn't wear an Elvis flag. I didn't represent Elvis that day. While Elvis is no longer around to face these accusations, we can turn to sources that date back to his era. For example, a reporter questioned Presley in 1957 about whether or not he'd said a particular racist slur, and he denied it, telling a reporter, "I never said anything like that, and people who know me know I wouldn't have said it." Regardless of whether or not Elvis Presley actually used racist slurs or made racist comments, he certainly got rich working as a white performer co-opting African-American music. After all, his hit song Hound Dog, for example, released in 1956, is so closely associated with Presley that many probably assume it's an Elvis original. However, Big Mama Thornton first recorded the song in 1952. It was a smash on the R&B chart, staying in the #1 position for 7 weeks. But Presley's version topped the Billboard pop charts 4 times in 1956, sold more than 10 million copies, and is one of the best-selling singles of all time.
Wait a second, did you see that? Did you see how Elvis did that? That was actually pretty funny. This is the Ed Sullivan Show. This is Ed Sullivan. It's a really good shoe. It's a really good shoe. He's the one who broke the Beatles here in America as well. But did you see like his backup singers like had no idea what Elvis was, that Elvis was about to hand him the guitar? Watch this shit. Elvis was just like, "Here, take this, man. Hey, I gotta talk to the big man." Let's watch that again.
It was a smash on the R&B chart, staying in the #1 position for 7 weeks. But Presley's version topped the Billboard pop charts 4 times
out my guitar.
in 1956.
Someone take this, man. And he's like, "Oh shit, I gotta take this guitar. Oh, take this shit, man. Hey, let me say the N slur real quick. Get out of my way." All right.
Of all time. David Pilgrim thinks backlash from this cultural appropriation likely has something to do with the persistent rumors about Presley being a racist. He wrote in 2006, "While talented black entertainers labored in smaller venues, sometimes in relative obscurity, Presley became a wealthy and famous international star, so some blacks resent his success and him, and this made a story about him using a racist remark believable." Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more.
So look at, yeah. So you see, I could see that resentment. I could see how people would look at Elvis and be like, well, he's living off black people's music and influence, while black folks are barely scraping by playing these little clubs, and Elvis is rich beyond. Yeah, I have seen Walk Hard. That shit is hilarious. He's like, don't try cocaine. It makes you have a great time. And you laugh and you talk all night. I don't remember what he said, but that shit was very. You would hate it. You would hate it, Dewey. But yeah, I could see the resentment there, and I could see how that could be considered sort of a cultural appropriation. But then again, he's being coached by a black dude. He got signed off by a black dude. Otis Blackwell, and a lot of people run to defend him in that sense, and people who are there run to defend him in a sense. So, I can see the resentment, and I could see how that could cause people to be like, fuck that guy. But I can also see how the people who are there are defending him, and it's music. Again, it's music. I mean, for